You guys have got to hear the story behind this one. This clip gets 10 times more interesting once you hear the steps that led to get to where exactly this story took us. So basically this whole thing revolves around the SEMA show, and for those of you who live under a rock, the SEMA show is a massive automotive trade show. People build these big, extravagant cars. Some of these things cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to put together. Like, the car was put together by some guys named the Quinton brothers for the ProCharger booth. So this thing was gonna get a lot of attention. ProCharger is one of the biggest names in the automotive industry. However, the car ended up stolen this week, the week before the SEMA show. These criminals were pretty stupid, luckily. Normally, what I would think a smart criminal would do would be, if you stole something like that, that's so recognizable, literally it has custom paint and decals and custom wheels, everything's custom and recognizable, I would have been out. Like, if I were a smart criminal, I would think I'd be to the next city over, the next state over, pulling this thing apart so that I don't get caught. But instead, these guys decided to pull a big dummy move. So I work for Speed Society, and we were putting together a story on this. If you want to see the complete story, it's in the comments. But anyway, essentially what happened was we chatted with a representative named Eric from ProCharger. He said that they were on the phone constantly with people who kept seeing this thing. They were getting text, yo, we just saw your SEMA build on this street doing burnouts. This guy was beating on the car out there in Las Vegas with all kinds of eyes on it. The cops were hot on their trail to try and get this thing back. Eventually they did find them. Obviously one police officer found them, and it would end up in a car chase because obviously a person doing something like that isn't going to go down easy. 4 cops would chase them into a parking garage. In this clip, we see that the guy behind the wheel of the Challenger isn't going to hang out and see what the cops want. Instead, he's ramming into them and rolling. So check out the rest of this clip. Then I will tell you how this story ended and what eventually happened to the car. After this clip took place, essentially this guy left and hopped on the highway and nailed it and took off as fast as he could. Now, remember, like I told you, lots of money invested in this thing. ProCharger is a high performance company, so naturally this car is about as fast as the street car is gonna be. Got on the highway, took off, cops didn't stand a chance, he was out. That 4-car police chase turned into 14, and they were out looking for the car. 14-car police chase, can you imagine that? Anyway, the guy ends up heading to a shopping mall, dumping the car, hopping on a bus, and just disappearing into the night. Now, if it weren't for one of 2 factors, I wouldn't have believed this thing. I believe the ProCharger guys, a lot of good guys over there. Highly doubt they would make something like this up. That's one factor. And obviously, we have the video behind it. It's just insane to me that something like this would happen. 99% of the time when I hear about one of these stories, I'm skeptical about everything, so I naturally think, oh yeah, publicity stunt. Obviously, we have something here that's very real and just so insane. Now, there's a couple ways to look at this. It definitely does suck that the car is destroyed, but there's definitely also a silver lining to that cloud. The car has a lot of damage on it, but after a story like this ends up gaining some momentum, you know where people at SEMA are going to be headed? They're going to want to stop by that ProCharger booth to see what exactly happened to this car that was in a 14 cop car chase, a car that rammed into cop cars and then ended up being dumped at a shopping mall. This is almost like something out of a Hollywood movie. It's just so crazy because it's real life and you never know what's going to happen. I would recommend heading out and checking out that ProCharger car. Maybe drop some pictures of it in the comments if you end up catching it over at SEMA. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it myself. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it around. Help the page out a little bit. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I will catch you next time.